What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're looking back at one of the most unexpected and downright disappointing chapters in MMA history, when Mirko Cro Cop's UFC run came to a disastrous end, all thanks to a wild heavyweight brawler that even Dana White couldn't stop criticizing. Let's get into it, so let's rewind a bit. Back in the mid-2000s, Mirko Cro Cop Filipovic was an absolute monster in Pride FC, one of the scariest strikers on the planet. His head kicks were legendary, and fans couldn't wait to see him bring that same energy to the UFC when he finally made his debut in 2007. The hype was unreal. He stormed through his first opponent and looked like he was on a fast track to a heavyweight title shot, but then it all went downhill, in what's still remembered as one of the most shocking knockouts in UFC history. Cro Cop was brutally knocked out by Gabriel Gonzaga, yes, with a head kick. The irony was painful. Just like that, the Pride legend's dream UFC run started to crumble. Cro Cop eventually returned to the octagon a couple of years later, hoping for redemption, but things didn't get any better. He suffered 3 straight knockout losses, including a devastating one against fan favorite Roy Big Country Nelson, and that fight, in 2011, pretty much ended his UFC career. Now, to set the scene, Roy Nelson wasn't exactly the picture of athleticism. With his big belly, wild hair, and heavy hands, he looked more like a bar brawler than a professional athlete. But when that cage door closed, Big Country could crack. In their first meeting, Nelson floored Cro Cop early. You could see Mirko was dealing with injuries, but that didn't stop Nelson from taking full advantage. He mounted Cro Cop, unleashed those massive hooks, and knocked him completely out. That was the end of Cro Cop's UFC run. A sad ending for one of MM's most feared. KICKBOXERS, but here's the crazy part. Despite Nelson's knockout power and fan popularity, Dana White was never really a fan. In fact, Dana ripped into Roy Nelson multiple times during his UFC career. Why? Well, a big part of it was Nelson's appearance and attitude. Dana wanted his fighters to look and act like elite athletes, and Roy's big-bellied, laid-back style didn't exactly scream professional. Even though Nelson scored massive wins over guys like Brendan Schaub, Minotauro Nogueira, and Bigfoot Silva, Dana constantly criticized his fitness and commitment outside the cage. He'd tell Roy to take his career more seriously, but Nelson didn't care. He was doing things his way. After that brutal night against Nelson, Cro Cop had one more UFC fight. Ironically, another rematch with Gabriel Gonzaga, which he won before stepping away again. Then, years later, in a poetic twist, Cro Cop actually avenged his loss to Nelson in a rematch outside the UFC 6 years after that fateful night. It was a long road of redemption for a true legend of combat sports. So, what do you guys think? Was Mirko Cro Cop's UFC run just bad luck? Or did he come in too late in his career to make it work? And on the flip side, do you think Dana White was too harsh on Roy Nelson, or was he right to demand more professionalism? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that LIKE button if you remember those legendary Pride days. And don't forget to subscribe for more MMA stories just like this one. Until next time, keep your hands up and protect yourself at all times.